Whilst the scarcity of new Naira notes continue across the country, with some businesses and commercial banks reportedly rejecting the old notes, President Muhammadu Buhari has again met with the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, at the presidential villa. The CBN governor, who met with the president privately for the third time since the scarcity of Naira notes across the country, did not speak to journalists when leaving the presidential villa. The reason for the visit is uncertain, but many believe it may not be unconnected to the Naira crisis and the search for solutions. We're staying in the nation's capital, where exactly 11 days to the 2023 presidential and National Assembly elections, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmoud Yakubu, moments ago confirmed that elections would not hold in 240 polling units nationwide. According to INEC chairman, the polling units do not have any registered voters, which will impede conduct of the general elections in those locations. Professor Yakubu said this earlier today during a meeting with political parties in Abuja. He recalled that the commission had made efforts to redistribute voters to polling units in order to avoid the congestion that made voting cumbersome in many of them nationwide. According to him, this requires the redistribution of voters to new polling units in proximate locations. TVC State House correspondent Femi Akonde and Ayo Zugbakun, senior political correspondent, were live earlier on the news, where they explained the implication of the latest move by INEC.
INEC chairman is bringing political parties up to speed with the preparations of the commission ahead of the election. And he is saying that these 240 polling units elections will not be conducted there because there are no registered voters in these particular polling units. He said that during the continuous voter registration, nobody applied to be posted to that polling unit so that they will to cast their vote there. And he said most of this is largely for security reasons, especially in areas where there are security concerns. In most of the states of the federation, there are at least between 1 to 12 polling units where elections will not take place. But Imo State has the highest. 38 polling units in Imo State will not have elections. Elections will not be conducted in 38 polling units in Imo State, followed by Taraba State with about 34 polling units. He said there are no new registrants at these polling units, and no voter indicated their interest in casting their ballot in these polling units. What they didn't emphasize on the security situation, because they've had interactions and consultations with security agencies and that's the police and other security agencies about providing security for the election, and they have gotten that assurance from these security agencies that the polls will be secured, the ballot will be protected. But there are still concerns in some areas of the country, but these concerns are not expressed by registrants who refuse to choose certain polling units in areas where they consider a bona. It's not for INEC to force people to some people choose where they would like to cast their vote. And as it is, all of these 240 polling units that INEC has highlighted, nobody applied to be posted there to go and vote. It may be for security concerns and it may be for other reasons. INEC says a security concern might also be one of the reasons why people are refusing to go to certain areas.
Do the mathematics is it's not going to be significant. It's 200 out of 175,000 polling units. I don't want us to raise panic out of this. That will not in any way disenfranchise people or not in any way rob some people substantially from casting their vote.
Absolutely. Thank you.
For security measures.
Leaders of the Labour Party in the Southwest have collapsed their structures to work for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. The leaders were led by the Southwest chairman of the party, Banji Omotosho. The movement into APC was facilitated by the national chairman of the Southwest Agenda for Asiwaju Tinubu 2023, Dayo Adeyeye, and other members of the group. While speaking at the program, Mr. Omotosho said leaders of the Labour Party decided to quit the party because it lacks the clout to win the 2023 elections. Let's now turn to Rivers State, where some leaders of the All Progressives Congress are predicting a landslide victory for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the forthcoming presidential election. They expressed optimism about the candidate's chances ahead of the APC presidential campaign rally scheduled to hold in Port Harcourt on Wednesday. And senior reporter Uche Okoro has details.
Preparations are in top gear to host the presidential campaign train of the APC in Port Harcourt, and work is ongoing to get the Yakubu Gowon Stadium ready for the event. Members of the Presidential Campaign Council and the Tinubu Shetima Independent Campaign Council are here to inspect the venue and ensure that the rally holds successfully. Their presence also sends a message that Rivers State is ready for the much-anticipated rally, despite the uncertainty surrounding the event.
One of the reasons why we came is also assure and reassure our presidential candidate that Rivers State is upbeat. We're ready for him for the 15th. You can see the things for yourself. It's no longer a camera thing, it's a thing that you are seeing for yourself, So we want to assure the presidential candidate, assure the party, assure the PCC at the national that we're upbeat.
I can tell you for free that our presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will win convincingly in Rivers State that day. You'll see the turnout on the day of the rally, you'll see the enthusiasm, you'll see the love, and you see the display of solidarity the people of Rivers State, the voters, have for our presidential candidate.
The dust is yet to settle on the disagreement between the Presidential Campaign Council and the Rivers State chapter of the APC over each other's commitment to the Tinubu Shetima campaign. But despite that, organizers of the rally are expecting a huge crowd to fill up this stadium as proof that APC will win the presidential election in Rivers State.
No attempt, or nobody will attempt to sabotage what the APC will be doing in Rivers State. And so these young men and women that you see, we're putting resources together to see how much we can put this place in place, and to also mobilize a minimum of 50,000 attendees to this particular venue.
This is a 17,000 capacity stadium, and we are hoping that we will surpass that number and have overspill all around the stadium. And in doing all of that, we shall maintain maximum consciousness for safety of our people.
Barring any last-minute changes, the APC presidential campaign rally for Rivers State will hold on the 15th of February. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.